Our history class. First, make sure our phones are away, bags, jackets are all away, yes? Okay. You may address me Mr. Brown for the duration of the lesson. And if you've got a question or need our hands to go up at any point, please put your hands up and ask a question. Is that clear to everybody? Yes. Okay, excellent, thank you. So we're going to start off with a little game. We've got two teams here, Tamsin and Amelia on one team, Jessica and Caitlin on the second team. In this bag, we have a bunch of goodies, okay? I'm going to take out a goodie, and you have to tell me the part of the world that it comes from. All of these goodies are from the same part of the world, and it's all going to tie the lesson together. If we guess the answer wrong, having seen one of them, we lose a point. You understand? Okay. So Amelia and Tamsin's team goes first. There you go. And what's that? Correct. Monday. Now, do we know where that might come from in the world? These all come from the same part of the world. Anyone have a quick guess? No? Okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Next one is even more exciting, potato cake. What's that?
Corn.
Yeah, correct. Do you like sweet corn? Do you know who uses a lot of sweet corn in their cooking? Do you think? Not you, obviously. Do you want to have a think about it? No? Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so they were the cold clues. Now that we start getting a little bit hotter. Amelia, what are these? Tomatoes. What country uses a lot of tomatoes in their cooking? Anyone got any ideas yet? Anyone got any ideas? Spaghetti bolognese? Lasagna? Really, that's a good question. Yeah, the Italian doulas would use a lot of tomatoes, but they're not from Italy originally. So we're moving on to the next clue. This is getting hotter and hotter now. Kate, what's this?
Avocado.
Correct. Do you like avocados yourself?
Not really.
It's Jessica loves them for breakfast. Now, we get any more? Does anyone want to have a guess now? So we've got potatoes, tomatoes, avocados, sweet corn. Anyone have a guess where it's from, apart from Jessica, who I think everybody knows? Okay, well, we're going to get even warmer now. I reckon that you two will definitely get it at this stage, okay? So what are these? Chilies. Now, what sort of food has lots of chilies in? Is it going to be cold food, spicy food, hot food?
Hot food.
Hot food, yeah. Do you know any hot food that we eat around a lot?
Indian or Mexican?
We've got there, with 2 minutes of the lesson gone. Tamsin has got it. Mexico. Now, the last one we would have had there, the last one, what else would come from South America that you lot all love?
Shit.
Oh, close, we can say it then.
Sugar.
Chocolate.
Oh.
Chocolate. Oh, okay, that would be the one you've got. Now, because I'm a very generous teacher, you girls can keep that fruit, okay? Take home with you. Just can have the chocolate. Okay, right then, so we've got the first part of the lesson is up and running. We are talking about Mexico, okay? Now, who can tell me what continent Mexico is on? Caitlin.
South America.
South America. Excellent. South. Sorry, my handwriting is awful. So we're going to go on to the other team now. Amelia and Tamsin, what else can you tell about Mexico? Do you know anything about Mexico at all? Anything you might know about Mexico? Do you know what the capital is? Mexico?
Wait.
Does Jessica know the capital of Mexico? Jessica?
Mexico?
Oh, very close.
Mexicana.
Mexico City is the capital of Mexico. Okay, that's okay. This is good that you're learning all this. Who can name me one country that is on the same border as Mexico? What country borders Mexico? America, excellent, Tamsin. United States of America, yes? Okay, so USA is right, it does border Mexico. Caitlin, do you want to tell us something you know about Mexico? What's some of the food they eat in Mexico? Give me a Mexican dish they eat.
Tacos.
Tacos, excellent, tacos. Jessica knows, who knows that Mexican restaurant on the Gold Coast? What's it called again?
Guzman Y Gomez.
Guzman Y Gomez. Jessica has that every weekend, don't you? Just Facebook Guzman Y Gomez. So, we know that Mexico is in South America. The capital is called Mexico City, yes? It borders America, yes? I like eating tacos for breakfast, yes? Who can tell me one more thing about Mexico?
They speak Spanish.
Right, that's what I was looking for. They speak Spanish. We're going to come back to that. They speak Spanish. They speak another language as well, which we'll come on to. But Spanish is the main language in Mexico, yes? Now, who can tell me any tribes or any people that come from Mexico? There's 3 very famous civilizations from Mexico. They come back from like the 1200s all the way to 1500s. Anyone know there's three main ones? They come from South America. So it's three main tribes. Anyone want to have a guess? Jessica? You can guess.
Latinos.
Oh, no, it's the tribes. So it's a type of people, so that's not one type of people.
Aztec.
Aztecs, right. Now we get, has anyone ever heard of the Aztecs before? Okay, so the Aztecs are the first group we're looking for. Anyone ever guess from the last two? Now these aren't specifically from Mexico, but they're from South America. Most people have heard of them, you've heard of their cultures. Anyone ever heard of the Incas before?
Oh, yeah.
The Inca people? Okay, so the Incas were from Peru and a little bit before the Aztecs, okay? That's another famous civilization. Anyone know the last civilization I'm thinking of? Begins with M. Anyone have a guess? So it's the Mayas, okay? The Maya civilization, okay? They were even bigger than the Aztecs, okay? But they were a little bit before that. But we don't have to write those today, because today we are learning about the Aztec civilization, which lasted about 250 to 300 years, from 1300 to 1500, and why it fell down. But before we get onto that, why it fell down, we're going to go on to what we talked about there before. Why is it we think that the Mexican people speak Spanish? Do you think they spoke Spanish originally?
No.
So what do you think happened to them, Caitlin? Settlers from where? Spain. Now we're getting somewhere, okay? So what is it called when one country in those days took over another country? We'll know what that's called, beginning with C. You know that word? Jessica?
Colonisation.
Colonisation, okay. That is excellent, Jessica, well done. Colonisation, okay? Has anyone ever heard that word before?
Yes.
Okay. So, if we're just thinking about South America here, or Central America, can anyone tell me any other countries that were colonised by the Spanish? So what other countries in that area speak Spanish or speak Portuguese, got very similar languages?
Like Argentina.
Correct, Argentina would be one, yes? Anyone got any other countries? Any other country in the area that speaks Spanish? Can we think of one?
Does it count if they're in Spain?
Or it's Spanish or Portuguese, so it doesn't got to be Spanish. What's a huge country in South America where everyone...
Brazil.
Brazil, excellent Jessica, Brazil. Very good. And what's a country that's really near America? They speak Spanish there, and it's a really beautiful island, really near America, beginning with C.
Colombia.
They smoke lots of cigars there. Cuba, anyone ever heard of Cuba before?
Yeah.
Cuba, okay. Right, so now we're coming away from Spain, okay, or Spanish colonisation. Can we think of another country that's been colonised in the last 200, 300, 400 years? Think of another country that's taken over by another country. Anyone apart from Jessica want to give us an answer on that? Another country? Australia. Excellent, Tamsin. Excellent. Okay, Australia was colonised, wasn't it? Yes. So who was the original? Who were the first Australians? Aboriginal people. And who colonised Australia?
The British.
The British, yes. Okay, about 1777, 1778, the British got to colonise Australia. Okay, so you can see a pattern around the world. Just the Spanish were one of the first colonisers. Okay, but they were predominantly the Americas and Africas, but the British started about 200 years later colonising the rest of the world. Okay, so it's very important. We think of the Aztecs, we think of being colonised. Okay, because the Aztecs were there minding their own business. It's about 1521 when the Spaniards come in, took over, and everything changed for the Aztecs. Yes. So when we think of colonisation and we think of being taken over by people, Tamsin, how do you feel if you were living in your house peacefully one day and a bunch of soldiers from France stormed in and took over? Would you feel pleased? Would you feel happy?
No.
They took all your pocket money. What would you feel about that?
Upset.
You'd be upset, wouldn't you? Yes, you'd be upset. And what do you want to do to them?
Kill them.
Kill them. Exactly. Yes, kill them. So now you can start to see that about colonisation. What happened with colonisation was the powerful and rich Europeans came into countries like Australia, like Peru, like Mexico, came with advanced weapons, things we'll come on to later on, things like horses, things like dogs, that came in and took over countries like Cuba, for example, with great wealth and great power. Now when those countries got there, so when those countries like Britain got to Australia, what do you think the British did to the Australians? Do you think they treated them nicely?
No.
They treated them poorly, didn't they? Really, really poorly. And what did they do to all the goods they found in Australia? They say to the Australians, I'll tell you what, we found this gold here, we found this coal here, we're just going to leave it here for you. What do you think they did with it? Took it back, exactly, took it back. So when you look at the world now, and you see Europe's a really rich continent with lots of money and wealth, etc., etc., where do you think a lot of that money and wealth came from? Yeah, but not just from Australia. So with Spain, where do you think they got all their wealth from?
Mexico.
Yeah, from the colonies, yes?
Yeah.
From the colonies. So if you look at the world now and distribution of wealth around the world, you can see where it comes from originally, yes? So you can see why Europe's so rich and powerful, because a lot of the time, a lot of their wealth and money and finance was taken from other countries, okay? Which is why now, in the world, now, okay, one last thing on this, Jessica, I think you might be able to answer this question. Can you guys give me one current event in the world that can relate back to colonisation, the problems of colonisation?
The racism in America.
Correct. Now, why does it go back to that?
Because of the slavery.
Correct. Excellent, Jessica. Now, do you want to elaborate on that, Tamsin? Why do you think that's related to slavery?
Because a lot of the natives were black, and because the white people took over, they enslaved the black.
Excellent. That's really good, Tamsin. Exactly. So, America, obviously, black people don't originally come from America. Where do black people originally come from? Mostly Africa. Exactly. So, a lot of American slave traders brought Africans in from Africa and used them as slaves in America, which is why a lot of American wealth is built on the back of that, and that all goes back through to Black Lives Matter at the moment, okay? That's very, very good, guys. Really, really impressed with that. Okay, excellent. So, today's learning intention is we are going to be learning about the Aztec culture and people. We're going to learn about a lot of the key personalities in Aztec culture, and we'll also be learning about the Spanish invasion of the Aztecs and why the Aztecs lost to the Spanish, and what happened to the Aztec people after that, okay? So, three really clear things. Aztec culture, why the Spanish invaded the Aztecs, and what happened to the Aztecs after that. Is everyone clear on that learning intention? Is everyone excited to learn about the Aztecs?
Yes.
Okay,
Very
excellent.
much so.
Well, that's the first part of the lesson done. Thank you, ladies. You may take a drink now.